So for your inventory valuation methods, you have your FIFO, or your first in, first out, and you have your average cost, which has three components: simple average, weighted average, and moving average. For this one first, let's solve this example for FIFO. Okay, so given here, over here are your transactions. So for July 1, you have your opening balance of 800 units at 98 pesos. And you have your purchases on July 2, 5, 7, 10, and 15, as well as raw material issuances on July 3, 8, and 20. So we would like to determine how much is the raw materials available in terms of quantity and in peso amount, as well as your raw materials issued in terms of quantity and unit and peso amounts. And last, your raw materials inventory, or your raw materials ending. Okay, so let's solve. So for your July 1, you have an opening balance of 800 units at 98 pesos. So what we have to do here is multiply the 800 units opening balance times the unit cost of 98, and you will get 800 times 98, you would get 78,400. Okay. So your next transaction is a purchase of 1,000 units at 100 pesos each. So that would be give you a total cost of 100,000 pesos. So 7,2, you have 1,000 units at 100, that would give you 100,000 pesos. So again, to give you an idea, under FIFO method, raw materials inventory is reported at latest cost, while the cost of raw materials used is reported at earliest cost. So the meaning of the raw materials used is similar to raw materials issued, and you would be using the reported earliest cost. Okay, so since in July 3 we have a transaction relating to issuance, what we will do is use the 1,000 units using the earliest cost possible. Okay, so you might be wondering here, sir, why is it that I have an issuance of 1,000 units? What what would I use? What unit cost here will I use? Would I use 98 or 100 pesos? So the answer here is split. For 1,000 units of issuance, you would need to empty out this first, your July 1 transactions. Okay? And if there is any remainder, you get it from your July 2 transaction with the unit cost of 100 pesos. Okay? And the total amount of the units, when you split 800 and 200, you should be able to get units issuance equal to this transaction. Okay? So let me do this for you. In the book, there is a separate, let's say, format for answering this. I'm just showing you another version for your reference. Okay? So for July 3, let me use a red pen for issuance and black pen for purchases and opening balances. Okay? So for July 3, I have 1,000 issued. So again, I will get the earliest cost. The earliest cost determined is 98. But since July 1 transaction has only 800 units, I would be getting first the 800 out of 1,000 using the unit cost of 98 pesos. So I would get in here 800 and 98. That would give me a total cost of 78,400. Okay? And then the remaining 200 out of the 1,000, I would be getting it for the unit cost for the July 2 transaction. So that is 100 per unit. So that would give me here 20,000 pesos. The total of this would be 78,400 plus 20,000. 78. That should give you 98,400. Okay? Let's just put it here for your reference later. And let's just take this out. Okay? This is already done. We've already used this. Okay? And out of the 1,000 of the July 2 transaction, we have already used 200. So let's just also put an X here for the 200 and a note in the side note here of remaining 800. Okay? Already put an X here. Okay. So next, on July 5, I had the transaction of purchasing 1,500 units at 105 pesos per unit. Okay? So simply just have to multiply the units purchased times the unit cost. So for July 5, we put here 1,500 units multiplied by 105. That would give me 105, 157,500. 157,500 here. Okay. So next transaction, again a purchase transaction for 500 units. 500 at 110 per unit. That would give me 500 times 110, 55,000. Okay. So at this point, we have a total already of 1,500 plus 500 plus 800 here. We have 2,800 raw materials inventory. Okay. So next transaction is on July 8. There's an issuance to production of 1,200 units to Department B. So what we have to do here again is get the earliest cost. Okay, so let me put here. Since the issuance is a total of 1,200, what we have to do is get the earliest transaction. Okay, so in July 2, we still have a remaining of 800 units available for use with a unit cost of 100 pesos each. Again, we have a side note here. This still does not have an X. So we have to put an X on it and consume here in the July 8 transaction. Okay. So we put here 800 at a unit cost of 100. That would give us 80,000. Okay. So let's already cross this out. And we still need 400 units. Okay. Since it's already emptied out, the July 2 transaction, the next available or the earliest available is the July 5 transaction amounting to 1,500. So we still need 400, right? Because we already issued 800, but there's still lacking of 400. So let's get the 400 units from the July 5 transaction. Okay, so use it here, 400, and we get 105. That would give us 400 times 105. That would give us 42,000 plus 82,000. We will get 122,000. Clear? Okay. Side note again. We have already consumed 400. Let's cross this out. So there's just a remaining of 1,100 units. Okay. Next transaction is your July 10 purchase as well as your July 15 purchase. So let's just record it. So 500 times 108, that would give us 54,000, and 800 units times 105, that would give us 84,000. Okay. So here 710, 500 at 108. Sorry, that is 54,000. Okay. And for your July 15, that would give you 800 times 105, 84,000. 800 times 105, 84,000. Okay. So that's the last purchase transaction for the month or for the problem. And the last transaction is an issuance, okay? We issued 2,000 units to Department C. Okay? So, again, we will use red pen. Let's just put the date first and determine where would we get the 2,000 units needed for production. Okay, so again, let's let's go back to the concept that for the raw materials used, you use the earliest transaction for to enable to get the earliest cost. So July 1 transaction is already emptied out, as well as July 2 transaction is already emptied out. However, for your July 5 transaction, which is a purchase transaction, you have only consumed 400 units, meaning there is still 1,100 units available for production. Okay? Or raw materials available for use. Okay? So we would get this we would use this 1,100, the 7.5 transaction, for the 2,000 peso, 2,000 units requirement. So let's get this 1,100 units. Let's get the unit cost of 105. That would give us 1,100 times 105. That would give us 115,500. Okay? 115,500. So this is already emptied out, the July 5 transaction. You still need 900 more, right? In order to satisfy the 2,000 requirements. So the next earliest is the July 7 transaction, which has 500 units with a unit cost of 110. So let's empty it out. Okay, it's already emptied out. We'll transfer here 500, unit cost of 110. Let's just copy this. We have 55,000. Okay, so 1,100 plus 500, that will give us 1,600, right? So we've already satisfied 1,600 units of raw materials, but we still need 400 more. Okay, so the next earliest is the July 10 transaction. Okay, so let's just get a portion of 400 of this July 10 transaction in order to meet the requirements for the July 20 issuance. Okay, so let's put a note here that 400 was already consumed. Let's put an X here. Okay, and that only 100 is remaining. Okay, so let's put it here, 400. Okay, so with a unit cost of 108, so 400 times 108, that would give us 43,200. Okay, so add this up. We need to verify. So 1,100 units. We got this from the July 5 transaction. The 500 units, we got this from the July 7 transaction. While the 400,000 units, we were able to get a portion of this from the July 10 transaction. So we add 43,200 plus 55,000 plus 115,500. The total raw materials issued for July 20 would be 213,700. Okay. Okay. So in here we already know we were already to properly allocate the purchases as well as the issuances. Now what we need to do is to obtain the balances for your raw materials available for use. Okay? Your raw materials issued or used, as well as your raw materials inventory or your raw materials ending balance. So your raw materials available for use, these are this is the sum of your purchases as well as your beginning balance. So let's just refer to this, to the black pens. So we have 800 plus 1,000 plus 1,500 plus 500, 500, 800. We add those. 800 plus 1,000 plus 1,500 plus 500 plus 1,300. That would give us 5,100 of you. 500,100 units. Okay? And the total cost attributable to that would be 528,800. Add this up. Okay, the black ones. 528,900. Yeah. 528,900. Okay. So for your raw materials issued, these are your red font. Okay, so the raw materials issued is 3,000 units. Okay, so this is 3,000 units at 434 1,000. Okay, 434 100. Sorry, 434 100. So to verify this, just add this 3. Okay, so we have 98,400 plus 122 plus 213,700. You have 44,100, and you just subtract your available with your issued, and you'll be getting your raw materials inventory ending. Okay, so to get this one, 5,100 units less 3,000 used, you would be getting 2,100 units. And for your peso amount, subtract 528,900 less 434,100, you'd get 94,800. Okay. Yeah. So whatever happens, for FIFO, under perpetual inventory system and periodic inventory system, your raw materials inventory ending would always be the same. Okay? Because in here, we were able to determine the raw materials inventory by subtracting this available and used. Okay? But there's a shortcut to it. For periodic, again, the concept of periodic system is the latest purchases are normally left in the warehouse. So, the raw materials issued are the residual amount after deducting the physical inventory counted from the goods available for sale. Okay? So, what we have to do here, you've already determined that there's only remaining 900, 2,100 units, right? So, what we have to do here is this one. You just get that. So I'm sorry. This should be 4,200. Sorry, this should be 4,200. Sorry. And your ending should be 900. 100 units. Okay? So, again, just to clarify, you might be confused. To get the units, you just add this red pen. So, 800 plus 200 plus 800 plus 400 plus 2,000. You'll be getting 4,200 raw materials issued to production. Okay? So, the remaining 900, you can work this back. In just looking at this one, you'll be able to determine what is the remaining inventory at your end. Okay? So, again, we've already emptied this one, your July 1 transaction as well as your July 2 transaction and your July 5 and 7 transactions. And a part of your July 10 transaction, you've already consumed 400 of that one. Right? So, again, you get the earliest cost. We know that in July 10, there's only remaining 100 units left. Okay? So, you get this 100, this 100, and you multiply it by its unit cost. So we put it here. 100 units times 108. That would give you 10,800. Okay? So that is your raw materials inventory for this transaction. And you still have an unused raw material from your July 15 transaction. So you just have to copy it, okay, and add this to your remaining amount here. So we have 800 units times 105, that would yield to 84,000 pesos. Okay, so sum this up. This would be 800 plus, okay, so 94,800, which is also equal to this. Clear? Okay, so just to recap again, this is a different approach. What I've used, the different approach. This is not the same with what is the method or format used in the book. So just to this is like a check and balance for you guys. So again, what we have to do, the concept here is always lay down the purchases. Okay, so for the purchases, what you just have to do is multiply your units with the unit cost. You'll be getting your total cost. The only thing that will change here is when you have issuances. For your issuances, always refer to the earliest transaction. When you're in the earliest transaction, use that units or consume that units as well, and use that unit cost. In case it's already emptied out, refer to the next earliest cost or earliest transaction. Okay, so again, from here, you will be able to determine your raw materials available for use, your raw materials issued, as well as your raw materials inventory. Okay?